Welcome back to the Indie Beauty Community Vlog. We are continuing with our series, The Top 5 Mistakes I See Brands Making on Social Media. In the last one, I covered quality. It's all about quality lighting, styling, editing, really covers all of that stuff. So you can give that one a watch if you haven't seen it when you're done with this one. Today we are talking about not leaving a caption on your post. Some of you guys are doing that. I see that. It's a big no-no, a big no-no. The biggest reason is on Instagram. If you don't leave a caption, the person's account that will show up at the end of your post is whoever leaves the first comment. Just whoever happens to leave the first comment, their account is going to show up. So you're actually sending people away from your post to somebody else's Instagram account because, you know, somebody's scrolling, they see your post, they're like, oh, I like this, it's interesting. They get to the end of the post, and what are they going to do? They're going to click on the account that they see for more, to try to get more information. But again, they're going to click on somebody else's instead of yours if you haven't left a caption. And I know we're all busy. You small business owners are the busiest. I don't envy you. Having to deal with a product-based business and social media, I really don't envy you. I really don't. I totally get it, how crazy busy it is, but you have to take the time to do a caption if you're gonna do a post. Another reason why it's so important is for SEO purposes. If you don't have a caption, you don't have any keywords in your post. It's really important now. Google takes social media into account with search rankings. It's great. It's such a great change since that happened. You can get more eyeballs on your stuff, on your brand, on your product, on your social media, just through regular organic searches, but you need to play the game and have good SEO to be able to rank in Google. And one way to do that is with having the right keywords, the right key phrases in your caption. Now, there is a thing called keyword stuffing. That's a big no-no on websites for good SEO. It's also a no-no on Instagram posts. I see creators the most, really, that will kind of, after all the hashtags, will just list a bunch of words, and they're the right words, they're keywords, but when it's just random like that and it's not organically put into a paragraph, it's just all jumbled together, one word after the other, that is considered keyword stuffing. That is actually going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your SEO. So don't do that. Do not do that. But do make sure that you are crafting a caption that really contains a few phrases, a few words that best describe what you're showing, and try to work that in. Try to work it in 2 or 3 times if you can. I know people don't always read captions, but that's the thing is even if nobody's reading it, it still is helping with exposure through SEO. So you really do want to take the time to craft one. Another reason leaving a caption is so important is it helps with your accessibility compliance. Accessibility compliance is generally fairly new. It's becoming increasingly important. It's becoming important for SEO. It's important for user experience. So it's really how much your content caters to people with disabilities. How accessible is your content to somebody with a disability? So a good example of that would be if somebody is colorblind and they're viewing your post, and your post is about red lipsticks. Well, they can't see the color of the lipstick, of course, if they're colorblind, but they can read it, you know, they can read in the caption. So that's a way that you are accommodating that and helping them to understand what's in the post, not just from the picture alone. Kind of vice versa. Let's say somebody doesn't have vision impaired issues, but they have a learning disability, so they maybe can't read the caption. Having more detailed shots and multiple shots helps paint a clearer picture of what you're showing. So that's just another example of being accessibility compliant. You can also leave, this is kind of off topic, but it's in the realm of accessibility. While we're on it, you can add alt text to your images now in the settings of the post before you post it. You do want to be doing that. Don't skip that step. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing that. And just general branding is why it's so important to leave a caption, because it shows that you've invested that time. Again, I know we're so busy, but you really can't expect people to invest time in your product if you aren't investing time into your own product. Anything that you do that shows a lack of investment of time or money is going to hurt your branding. It devalues it. It really takes the value down. You don't want to do that. So again, even if it's a long post that people are going to be too lazy to read, showing that you have taken the time to write that, it just helps with your overall branding. And really the biggest reason for leaving a caption on social media is it's your opportunity to connect with your customers, with your clients, with potential buyers. Why wouldn't you want to take that opportunity to connect with them? And I know it can be difficult when you're first starting out or first trying to get the hang of social media, that it can be hard to know how to communicate, how to do all of that stuff, and how to leave a caption, what to say, how to say it. But you really have to find your own groove. Start with your own personal style. You know, are you a more informative kind of person? Are you more entertaining? You know, are you more likely to want to just talk to the camera and explain something, or are you more visual and you want to show it? You know, whatever comes more natural to you is what you're going to enjoy more, what you're going to be best at. So you really want to just do that and stick with that. Don't try to do it all and do, you know, this and that. No, well, I have to be this and that, and I have to be funny, and I have to be this way and that way, and show really good close-up macro shots as well as these other styled shots. You really shouldn't. You should find your little avenue, find your lane, what you do best, and do that and do it well. And that way you can take the time to make it higher quality. People get really scared of coming across as cringy. What's really the most cringy is when somebody's not being true to themselves. They're not being authentic, they're not being sincere, and they're not doing what comes natural. So if you just learn to do what comes natural, it's not going to come off as cringy. It may not come off as high quality if you're not quite there yet with your quality of content, but it's still going to come off better quality than somebody that's trying to force something that's not natural to them, you know? And if you have a hard time thinking, well, what is natural to me for, you know, what would fit with creating a caption? If you really don't know and you're having trouble finding your voice, look at other content. Follow all the comparable brands, all of your competitors. Follow the ones that are more professional, that look like they have professionals doing their social media, because there's a particular rhythm to it. It's kind of like fiction writers are supposed to read fiction while they're writing fiction, because narration has a particular rhythm to it. And so it kind of keeps that at the forefront of your mind if you're reading it daily. Do the same thing with social media. Look at it daily, read it daily, get that pattern and that rhythm kind of in your mind, and just get that flowing. It gets it flowing. It makes it much more easy to sit down and write a caption. We've barely touched 10 minutes here, and I'm done with that topic. So let's just jump into the next one in this video. And one of the biggest mistakes I see brands making on social media, and that is that they try to put too much into one post. This one drives me crazy. It drives me crazy as a photographer and when I was a social media manager for other brands, because, you know, I would get pressure from them to include all of the information into every post, or this one client had a separate marketing person aside from me telling them things, you know, what to do, what not to do, and they kept wanting the brand name of the product to show, and I kept trying to show texture. You know, it's like you really can't focus on several different things. It waters the whole thing down to where there's no one main focus. You have plenty of time, guys. You have all the posts in the world. You know, you can post again tomorrow, you can post again next week, you can post again next month. You're not going to run out of time to get all that information out there. So just take a step back, take your time. You know, you don't have to do everything in one post. If you look at the most successful beauty brands on Instagram, they will have pictures of just texture. They will have pictures of just the label. They'll have pictures of just the model with the product on without a close-up of the brand name on the product itself. You know, it's, you really need to just focus on one thing when it comes to the photos and when it comes to the caption, the content, the written content. You know, if you are talking about the benefits in your product, if you have like a natural body moisturizer, for example, and you have lots of different ingredients, you can do a single post that kind of quickly lists all of the ingredients. That's fine too. But then also take your time to go through each one and make one post about one ingredient. You really need to narrow it down like that. It's going to help with SEO. It's going to help with user experience. It's going to make your content stand out more so that people know what to comment. That's the other thing. It can increase engagement. If your post is all over the place, people aren't necessarily going to be able to know what to comment. People only comment when they know what they can comment very quickly, very easily. They don't want to sit there and think about it, you know. And if your post is all over the place, how are they supposed to respond to that, you know? So if you have a very specific focus, it makes it very easy for them to comment. So it'll increase engagement too. That is it for today. I hope you found this helpful as always, and leave any questions down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.